You know, if I had like a nuclear bomb, right? I mean, I'd probably be plotting world domination, but let's say if I had a nuclear bomb to destroy any aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh, I'd probably destroy hand traps. And the biggest reason is because, like, in order for them to be effective, you like need so many, right? And on top of that, the mother not cheap. Unfortunately, going into the Power of the Elements format, it feels like this is going to be a necessary evil. And today I want to discuss with you what are the most important hand traps moving forward in Yu-Gi-Oh! What's going on with y'all, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day is going phenomenal, but if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. So of course today I'm going to be bringing the most powerful hand traps in the Power of the Elements format, but I actually want you to let me know if there was something that you could get rid of in Yu-Gi-Oh! What would you get rid of? And no, it can't be that really terrible smelling player that comes to your locals. I mean, he can't wipe his ass, but you can't wipe him off the planet. Come on, guys. You gotta invent the shower for him or something. Also wanted to make you aware that the new Raven Wing Sleeve version 2.0s are now live on TheCaliEffect.com. These, oh my God, yo, best sleeves ever. They're the only sleeves that I use, but I won't waste any more of your time. Let's go ahead and start talking about what the Power of the Element strategy will be like, or format will be like. So the first thing I want to get to you, thick-skulled glue eaters, is that we are not playing the same format as the OCG. There are plenty of cards that exist inside of the OCG, as well as new release cards that we don't have, and we have the pleasure of not having to deal with Maxi. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like fair and balanced Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games. With that being said, hopefully you can acknowledge that we play two totally different card games, and that our formats are going to be vastly different. One thing is that since we don't have Maxi, there's going to be a ton of special summon crazy decks in the TCG. Not only does the plant strategy get a huge boost from the Power of the Elements set, there's also some other strategies that are just special summon heavy crazy in the first place. On top of that, I can already imagine that players are going to try to combine the Adventure and the Punk engine with both Tier Elements and Spright, and that's going to create a totally different dynamic that we've never seen in the OCG. Okay, so there is going to be a lot of players using the graveyard. I mean, players might touch the graveyard more than they touch soap. There are cards like Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, which could be extremely good at preventing the activations of cards in the graveyard, and Ghost Bell actually has some fairly good applications inside of the meta. Skullmeister is slightly less restrictive than Ghost Bell. You can activate multiple copies of this card, and on top of that, he's a pretty chunky monster. But I think the best candidate out of all of the hand traps that involve the graveyard right now will be DD Crow. Now, DD Crow can't stop Water Enchanters of the Temple from activating, but if you think big brain, you just banish it before they activate. DD Crow, unlike Ghost Bell and Skullmeister, can also preemptively banish cards that your opponent would want to use before they start using their effects, and more often than not, completely gets rid of the threat where the other two don't. That means banishing monsters like Chaotic Rule or the Chaotic Magical Dragon instead of preventing it from being able to be summoned. That can come up in the later games, and also against the Punk engine, being able to banish whatever the No Punk Deer Note wants to special summon. And in case you thought DD Crow's rage stops there, it actually goes so much further. DD Crow is amazing against the Spright strategy because you can use it to banish Rodent Tonin from the graveyard. They ain't getting that frog back. Send that thing to the Shadow Realm, boy, it ain't coming back. And then of course against the Tier Element strategy, you can banish any of the Tier Element monsters when they activate their effect to fuse, and they won't be able to fusion summon. Another card that I think is going to be fairly ridiculous against all of the strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rapid. Now, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rapid is really good at being able to hit the Adventure engine, being able to destroy, what's that card? Is it Adventure Time? I don't think that's the card name. What is this card's name? The boomer in me definitely activated right there, but being able to stop Fateful Adventure before the player can be able to search a Draco back or a Wandering Griffin Rider from their deck to their hand, but also being able to use Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit to be able to destroy Wandering Griffin Rider so it won't shuffle itself inside of the deck, preventing them from being able to negate the activation of your card effect. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is an amazing card against the Adventure Engine, but what some players may not know, it's actually really good against Spright and Tier Element. Against the Spright strategy, using Ghost Ogre on Snow Rabbit on Gigantic Spright will prevent them from being able to special summon a monster to their side of the field. If you read Gigantic Spright, it's actually worded that way. The reason being is because Gigantic Spright will detach a card on the resolution of its effect, and if you can destroy Gigantic Spright before it can detach, it won't be able to special summon from the deck. Now, you won't be able to use Ghost Ogre on Primeval's add effect, but when your opponent wants to use this effect to destroy a card on your side of the field, you can actually use Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit to be able to destroy the field spell card, which does knock a lot out of the Tier Limit strategy. Also, another thing to note is that Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is a light monster and can be added off a Chaotic Ruler to Chaotic Magical Dragon, as well as a Psychic monster, so it can be special summoned off of Emergency Teleport. This is one of the most versatile hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, and it actually can even be searched with the new Punk Synchron monster. It's kind of ridiculous. But what else is really perplexing is players dropping Nibiru the Primal Being because of the Spright strategy not only being able to disrupt it, but if they resolve the Spright, Gigantic Spright, then you won't be able to summon Nibiru anyways. You do know there's more than one special summon heavy deck. I think if you're playing 12 plus hand traps, dropping Nibiru is probably one of the dumbest things you can do. There's a couple of reasons why. First, Nibiru is a light target, so if you are playing Chaotic Ruler, that card should be banned, then yeah, you can add Nibiru off of that. That's obviously a plus in my book. The next is like a funny situation about Nibiru that I've noticed. Players drop Nibiru, so then players start playing more special summon heavy decks, and then that's when Nibiru becomes good, and then players start preparing for Nibiru, then Nibiru becomes bad. If you guys see the cycle, we're on part number 2, where players start to drop Nibiru. It literally happened the entire Dimension 4 season, as well as the North American Championships. Nibiru, time after time again, for some of the top players in the world, has been stated as a really good card. Now, I do understand that players are going to be putting up disruptions before their 5th summon to stop Nibiru, but you're probably playing 12 to 20 hand traps anyway, so just open them. What, you ain't never opened the stones? I mean, Nibiru is one of them. Come on, forehead, stop thinking so much. Just open the Nibiru, it's not that hard. But to play devil's advocate, there actually is a card that is extremely good, not only against the current meta right now, but also against hand traps. You should already know what it is, so go ahead, let me know what it is. No, it's not that. Cypher and Gear Gamma is an amazing Yu-Gi-Oh card. This card not only can stop your opponent hand traps when you have no monsters on your side of the field, it's also an amazing card for being able to stop your opponent's most critical choke points. Like, for example, being able to negate the Gigantic Spright and get 2 monsters on your side of the field, that's pretty good. And also being able to stop not only Tier Limit graveyard effects, but also potentially stopping their on-field effects too. On top of that, Cypher and Gear Gamma can always be used offensively. Take, for example, if you're activating a spell or trap or even a monster effect while you have no monsters on the field and your opponent wants to use a card like Ash Blossom, well, not only does Cypher and Gear Gamma negate the Ash Blossom, it'll give you 2 monsters to your side of the field to make the eventual Chaotic Ruler you were going to summon. Jeez, you know, I remember going on record saying that Chaotic Ruler was going to be one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now I think I want it banned. Look, it's either ban Chaotic Ruler or ban Emergency Teleport. One of those have to change. And damn, Emergency Teleport keeps going back and forth to jail like my uncle. Sheesh, chill out, E-Telly. I genuinely think that Cypher and Gear Gamma is one of the best hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hands down. It always tends to catch people off guard, and players will forever lose to this card because they just don't respect it. Also, if you link summon into Cyframe Lambda, you can even use it while you have monsters. Don't let anybody know that. That's the secret between me and you, though. And lastly, a card that I think will at least be heavily in player sideboards is 100% going to go to Droll and Lockbird. Now, Droll and Lockbird, as you should already know, prevents players from searching, which is extremely good against most strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially if the strategy just so happens to splash the Adventure Engine. If they activate Water Enchantress of the Temple, you should be doing your Birdman hand rub by then, because by the time that they activate their Adventure Time, you control and lockbird them and then prevent them from not only getting into their most important engine cards, but also you can potentially prevent them from searching the Wandering Griffin Rider if they were trying to get greedy to add the Draco back instead. And that is all that I have for the top Yu-Gi-Oh! Hand traps this upcoming format. If you want to see more amazing content, be sure to check out these awesome videos. Also, if you want to see Master Duel content, you can check out Master Duel Cali. We might even put some Master Duel content on here, but that's here nor there. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next one.